Maurice Anderson, a loving husband to Barbara, a grandfather to 14, and a coach to many, got some shocking news in the summer of 2017. Okay, so what condition, Popol, did you have, and what surgery did you end up having to correct it?
Well, I first had I was working in the yard and I had a shortness of breath, and then I got a little dizzy, and so I went to see my primary care physician, and then he took a EKG and determined I had AFib.
Atrial fibrillation is an irregular and rapid heart rate caused by disorganized electrical signals that cause poor blood flow. It is characterized by shortness of breath, dizziness, and fatigue. AFib can be treated by an ablation procedure, which scars tissue in your heart to stop the faulty electrical signals.
As soon as he got the results back from my echocardiogram, he realized that I had a valve problem. When I was real young, I had rheumatic fever, and he said that's as a result of that condition, my valve had really gotten narrow, and so they determined I was going to have a new valve.
Rheumatic fever is a disease mostly found in children as a result of inadequate treatment of strep. With symptoms of fever, painful joints, and rashes, rheumatic fever can also cause scarring of the heart valves. This damage most commonly affects the person 10 to 20 years after the initial illness. So, what was the original plan to fix your valve?
Well, the original plan was to go up to the groin area, but Dr. Mahoney was going to go up to the. Matter of fact, he did go up to the groin area. He was going to measure for the size valve that I needed.
I think that's called the TAVR, but I'm not sure.
Right.
TAVR.
Yeah, and then when he got up there, he realized that I had two major arteries that needed to be replaced.
Coronary bypass surgery is a procedure that restores blood flow to an obstructed coronary artery. This is often done with a vein removed from the leg and grafted to the heart. Upon discovering further ailments that needed to be treated, Maurice's doctor advised him to have a conference with a cardiothoracic surgeon.
When I had that conference, then they decided I was going. They thought I was, even though I was a little bit old for open heart surgery, they decided that I could probably go through it, and I was going to have. Dr. Newton was going to replace two clogged arteries. He was going to put me a new valve in, and he was also going to try to get rid of the AFib, and that's what he did. You raised me up. Finally, I went down to the operation on October 31st, Halloween. And then that's about the last time that's when I had all my problems after that.
He had the surgery on the 31st of October, and then they couldn't close him up, and I think that's normal, but possibly maybe not. I don't know for sure because we were under stress, of course. And so they didn't close him up he had the surgery on the Tuesday, and they didn't close him up on the Wednesday. So they left him open. Okay, of course that was very, very frightening and fearful. And then I think on Thursday, Dr. Philpott closed him up. And then we thought, okay, he's out of the road a little bit now. But he didn't awaken. And so then he was in the ICU from Tuesday and didn't wake up. Now on Thursday or Friday, I'm not sure which, but then that's when they thought he had a stroke or a seizure, and that's why he wasn't awakened. And then he didn't wake up for 6 days.
When I was in a coma, I dreamed that I'd been in a car crash.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I finally I knew
wasn't-
something. I knew something. I knew I was in pretty bad shape. I didn't know whether I was going to make it or not.
But you did.
Because I did know that when I finally got awake, Austin had flown in from Denver, and Gary had came back from Florida, and I figured that maybe they'd called them back in because they didn't think I was going to make it.
So can you break down how, once you came out of ICU and began your recovery, can you break down how that worked and what you all had to do?
Yeah. Well, at first they wanted me to get up and start walking, and I couldn't hardly walk at all, you know, and I'd been down so long that I'd lost my ability to walk, and so they wanted me to walk with a walker. You know, I was in the hospital for 34 days. 34 days. And the last week I spent in therapy, and it was like physical therapy, vocational therapy, occupational therapy, all the therapies, and they worked with me like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then they let me go on Sunday. And once I got out of there, then I went home. But they wanted me to I had to go to physical therapy at Lee Memorial Hospital for 6 weeks. And then when I got out of there, I had to go over to the cardiac rehab for 6 more weeks of therapy.
He survived.
But I'm doing great now. I had a wonderful family that came and looked after me, and I had to make it, and I think God let me live to be with you all, and that's what I'm most happy about.
What was your biggest transition from being in a hospital to moving back at home? What was the biggest change from, before your surgery when you were at home to coming back after it?
They wanted me to be as active as I possibly could, and that they said that even though I was a little bit still, when I came home I was still not real stable on my feet. I was still a little bit wobbly, but they told me, they said that the more you walk and the more active that you are, you'll get better every day, and they were right. I got better every day.
You raise me up.
So, during his time in the hospital, how often were you there?
Every day for 35 days.
Yeah.
From 7 in the morning until 8 at night.
I wanted to stay all night.
So being
Every
there,
single day. Pardon?
being there so long and it being about, a 20-minute drive, how did that affect your everyday routine?
I didn't have a routine. I realized I had to do everything for myself, which I really didn't like at all.
So then, Momo, when he came home, was anything different for you from him being home?
Yes, very. I had to drive him places. And that was pain. Because he...
I had to ride in the back seat with this right here, like this. The
and
back
I had
seat.
to drive.
And she scared me.
He
to
said,
death
"You're going
driving.
too fast." In fact, when we left the hospital, you would have thought he would have said, "Now this is almost 60 years of marriage." You would have thought he would have said, "I'm so glad, honey, that you're driving me home." Instead, someone called and they said, "Are you on the way?" And he said, "If we make it," he said, "The way she's driving."